Good afternoon to you all students. Hi students, how are you? I hope you all are doing well. So by God's grace, you all are safe. Students, have you all studying daily portion? So have you all studied till yesterday's portion? So what assignment I gave yesterday? So what assignment I asked you to write in the last class? So chapter 4, algorithmic strategies, linear search and binary search algorithm I asked you to write, isn't it? So, what are the things I asked you to write in assignment? So, please write it. When the school reopens, I asked you to submit. Okay. So, please write it. Okay. So, welcome to our today's online class. So, now we are studying about which chapter you are studying? Chapter 5. What's the chapter name? Python variables and operators. So, this chapter is mainly based on, so first itself I am saying this chapter is mainly based on what? On programming language called what? Python, isn't it? So this chapter, first part you have studied about, so Python language, how you are going to use this Python language in a system. So that and all first part you have studied. So what's the second part I have taught in the last class? Functions in Python. So what do you mean by functions? What are the types of functions you have studied? Input of function, output of function, print of function. So up to that I have taught yesterday. So today we are going to study about a new topic called tokens. Okay. What's the topic today we are going to study? Tokens. So this is the very important 5-mark question. Okay. This token question very important 5-mark question. So please listen carefully. This question and also this question is very easy. Okay. The same question you have studied in 11th standard in the volume 2. First chapter you have studied the same question. Okay. So if you have studied throughout that question means this questions become very easy. Okay. So please listen carefully and study the very important question. Last time also that half exam or quarter exam 2 or 3 times they asked this question. Okay. So listen carefully. So what do you mean by tokens? Okay. So what do you mean by token mean? So each and every programming language the user interact with the system by typing codes or giving commands or instructions. Isn't it? Yes. So what do you mean by token means? So whatever commands you are giving, so it will break particular things into some meaningful components. Okay. So one big line is there. The particular line breaks the particular group of sentence or group of lines are break into some meaningful components that is called as tokens. Understood? For example, one big paragraph is there. So you are going to study that big paragraph. So you are feeling very hard to study that big paragraph. So what you are doing means you are splitting or breaking that paragraph into small 5 paragraphs. Okay. So that 5 paragraphs also will give some meaningful information. So that is called as tokens. Understand what I mean by tokens? So this Python program will break each logical line. That means particular codes or instructions given by the user. So it will break that line into a sequence of elementary lexical component. What do you mean by lexical means? Meaningful component. Okay, what do you mean by lexical? Meaningful components. So this Python will break particular line into some meaningful components. That is called as what? Tokens. Understood? This is one of the very important 2-mark question. What do you mean by tokens and what are the types of tokens? Okay, understood? Now itself you study. One time you repeat. What do you mean by tokens? Python breaks the logical line into a sequence of meaningful, that means elementary lexical components known as what? Tokens. Understand? So Next thing you are going to study about what are the types of tokens. Okay. So first thing is identifiers. Okay. What's the first thing? Identifiers. Second is keywords. Third, operators. 4, delimiters. 5, literals. Okay. So what are the types of tokens? There are 5 types of tokens are there. What are the 5 types of tokens? Identifiers, keywords, operators, delimiters and literals. Okay. So here, so white space separation is necessary. What do you mean by white space? For example, you are writing these two words. In between the particular space is called. That is called as what? White space. Okay. So which is very important for that. The white space separation is necessary between what are the things you need to? This identifiers, keywords and these two things. This token for tokens, that white space separation is necessary for these two things. Identifiers and keywords. Understood? Yes. What's the first heading you have studied? Identifiers. Okay. So in this slide, you are going to study about what do you mean by identifiers. Okay. So what do you mean? For example, you have ID card. What's the use of ID card? ID card means identity card. So name itself having identity. What do you mean by identity? Yes. What do you mean by identifiers? For that only example said ID. What's the use of ID card? Names having identity card. So, so you have ID card. What's the use of ID card? If anyone see your ID card means particular person can able to identify you or who is that person. What are things are available in the ID card? Your name, address, phone number, date of birth. Isn't it? All the details about particular person or you. So that is called as ID. Likewise, what do you mean by identifier mean? It is one of the name. Identifier is nothing but one of the name. Why means this is a name. Why we are giving this name mean? We are giving some name to identify what are the thing means? Variable, function, class, module or object. Okay. So in programs, so you have variable declaration. What do you mean by variable declaration? Int a of. That is called as variable declaration. Then function, void read data of. That is function. Class, class student of. That is called as class. Module or object. So in main of function, you will class the class name with object. That is called as module or object. Understood? Yes. What do you mean by identifiers? Identifiers is a name used to identify what are the things? It's used to identify a variable, function, class, module or object. Okay, that's the first point. So, next thing is these are the rules. That means identifiers should be like this. Identifiers should follow this one. Understand? So, the identifier always starts with an alphabet. Okay, either it starts with capital letter A to Z or small letter A to Z. Or another one thing. So underscore symbol will be there in identifier. So if you have seen underscore symbol in that particular name means you should know that is called as identifiers. Okay. So what's the second point of identifier? Identifier may starts with alphabet. What are the alphabets mean? From A to Z. Capital letter A to Z or small letter A to Z. Okay. And also particular name should have underscore means you should know that is called as identifier. Understood? Next point. Next point is, so identifier may contain digits. So first point, identifier always starts with the alphabet. Second point, identifier may contain digits. That means identifier can also contain digits. Okay. Next point, Python identifiers are case sensitive. What do you mean by case sensitive? So already we have studied the identifier always starts with the alphabet. Alphabet means either capital letter or small letter. Isn't it? So that is called as uppercase and lowercase letters. So this identifiers can differentiate both uppercase letters and that means small letters and capital letters. So if you use capital letter means, so first if you start to write your name means first letter you should write capital letter, isn't it? Likewise, so it will identify. So case sensitive means capital letter, which places needs to write in capital letter, that place should follow capital letter. Then next place if you write with small letter means it should follow the condition small letter. Understand? That's the point. So that what's the next point? Fourth point is it's a case sensitive. What do you mean by case sensitive? So it will identify both capital letter as well as small letter. Okay. So what's the next point means this identifies is not a Python keyword. Okay, what's the next point? This is not a keyword. Okay, identifies always not a keyword. Next point is, so and also it will not allow punctuation character. What do you mean by punctuation character? Symbols like this, percentage, dollar, at symbol. Likewise, these symbols won't come in identifiers. Understand? So what are the points you have studied in identifiers? Once recall. First thing, what do you mean by identifier? It is a name. One name. It is a name. What's the use of that name? Its name is used to give to identify a particular variable, function, class, module or object. Okay. So next thing is always the identifier starts with the letters. That means either capital letter or small letter, or particular things will come with which symbol? Underscore. Okay. The example they have given, by saying the example means you can identify. Then this identifiers can also contain what? Digits. Digit means 0 to 9 digits you can able to use. Okay. Then next point is case sensitive. What do you mean by case sensitive? Capital letter as well as small letter you can use, but in which place you need to use capital letter, that place only you need to use capital letter. Okay. Next point is, but it is not a keyword. Okay. Identifiers is not a keyword. Okay. Next one, some of the punctuation characters. What are the characters? Percentage, dollar, at symbol. These symbols and all not allowed in identifiers. Understand? Yes. Listen. So this is the example of valid identifiers. That valid means correct identifiers. Okay. Listen. What's the first example they have given? Sum. So how is whether this identifier is a name? What's the name of this identifier? Sum. So what's the second condition? It starts with an alphabet. So it starts with alphabet. Next thing. So otherwise particular things will come with which is symbol? Underscore. Is it visible? Underscore symbol. So if you have seen this underscore symbol means you should know that is an identifier. Next, it is a case sensitive. Small letter also you can able to use. Okay, that is case small letter. Next one. So identifiers may contain digits. Num one of. So digit is also there. Understand? See the next, that is all. So this is the correct example for identifier. See the next example. So 12 name, whether it is correct? No. Why? So first condition itself, identifier should starts with the alphabet. Whether it is an alphabet? No. It starts with number. So it's wrong. Next one. Name, dollar, symbol. We identifies whether any punctuation character will allow? No. So it's not an identifier. Next. See. Total, in between they have given that symbol. Minus symbol. Whether this is correct? No. Underscore symbol only allowed. Next thing is a continue. Continue is a keyword. Whether identifiers allow keyword? No. Understand? So, before studying one heading, just read it first, understand the example. Then only you can able to write the topic. Understand identifiers? Next thing is a keywords. Okay? So, what's the next topic? Keywords. So, all of you take your books in your hand. So, all of you takes a book in your hand. The same thing they have mentioned in your book also. Okay. So, what do you mean by keywords? So, keywords are the, what do you mean by keyword? So, for example, you are studying one question. So, you are going to study one question. For that question, in your mind, you will keep some keywords. By recalling that keywords, you can able to write that question. Isn't it? Is it true or not? Yes. So, like that, what do you mean by keywords? So, keywords are the special words. Okay. Not only in Python program, whether in C++, Java or any programming language, keywords are the special words. Why we are using these keywords mean particular compiler or interpreter to recognize the structure of the program. What do you mean by recognize the structure of the program? For example, in C++ program, you will write void main of. What's the keyword here? Void. That's the structure of the program. Understood? What do you mean by structure of program? So what's the structure of C++ program? First you should write header file, then variable declaration, then function, then main of function, inside the main of function, object calling, function calling, etc. That's the structure of normal structure of a program. Likewise, so keywords also, void main of, void is a keyword. So that's the structure of program. Already you know this is the structure of program. So I should write void as a keyword. Likewise, what do you mean by keyword mean? It is a special words. So used by the Python interpreter. So whether this program has compiler? No. Only interpreter. So what's the difference between compiler and interpreter? Last class also I have taught. So interpreter means, so no need to compile the program. Once you have typed the program, immediately you can run the program. That's the use of interpreter. So what do you mean by keywords? Keywords are the special words used by which one? Python interpreter to recognize the structure of program. Understand? So this keywords can be used as some words we are using as a keywords. If you identify, for example, for or if or else, void, true, false. So these are the keywords. Break. So that statements, if you see, means that that statements act as a keywords only. Okay. So in particular, for example, in a program you are giving for. For means the interview while you are running the program, the interpreter can able to identify this is a keyword. This word cannot be used for any other purpose. Understand? So these keywords have some specific meaning in programming language. What's the meaning of for? For loop in C++ program, for means that's a loop. So for loop is used to check conditions or anything. Likewise, if particular keywords, the interpreter is identified particular keyword is there in the program means, so interpreter can able to identify this is a keyword, particular word cannot be used for any other purpose. So understand two points we have studied in keywords. What are they? Keywords are the special words. This can be used by the interpreter to identify the structure of program. Next one is it will have specific meaning, but they can be used for only that some keyword purpose. Understand? So in a big book also, this keywords are this example they have given. So no need to study all these examples. So 5-mark question if they ask means, first you need to write the heading of tokens, then types of token. Then over each heading identify as what's the point I have taught one example. Okay. Next, what's the second point? Second heading keywords. Then 2 points. Then among these any 4 or 5 enough. Lot of things they have given. So among this according to your wish you can study any 5 words. Okay. So which words you are familiar? Already you have studied familiar in programming. So that words you study. What are the words you are familiar? This one. True, false, break, continue, class, if, or, while, return. So these are the words already you have studied in C program. So among these any 5 words you study. Understand? So next thing is operators. So this I have taught this portion. I first itself I said. So already all the things you have studied in 11th standard itself. So I have this only. So this heading already you have studied in 11th standard. Are you remembering? In the second volume book, first chapter, are you remembering this one? Operators. So what do you mean by operators? So what do you mean by operators? So operator means nothing but some symbols. Okay. So by using that symbols, you are going to do some calculations or computations, etc. Okay, what do you mean by operators? For example, a plus b. In a plus b, which is an operator? A plus b, which is an operator there? Plus. Plus is an operator. Understand? What's by saying itself, you know. What's the use of that a plus b? You are going to add two numbers. That's a calculation or computation. Okay. So what's the value? Value means a and b. We are calling that a and b as an operands. Okay. A plus b equal to 5 means what's the value? 5. A plus b equal to 5 means what's the value? 5. A and b are called operands. Plus is an operator. Understand? What do you mean by operator? What do you mean by value? And what do you mean by operands? What do you mean by operator? The symbol you are going to use for some calculation, that is called operator. So, what do you mean by operands? Value of an operator. That means a plus b means a and b. That is called an operands. Then value a plus b equal to 5. 5 is an value. Understand now? Yes. So, there are 4 kinds of operators are there. Okay. How many kinds of operators are there? 4. What are they means? Arithmetic operator, relational or comparative operators, logical operator and assignment operator. So, these operators already you have studied in 11th standard. Isn't it? Yes. Once again, what are the types of operators you have studied? Arithmetic operators, relational or comparative operators, logical operators, assignment operator. Okay. So, what do you mean by operands? Already I said. The value and variables used in that operation is called operator. For that only I said an example a plus b, which is an operand. A and b are called operand. Understand now? Yes. So, next heading is arithmetic operator. So, already you know what do you mean by arithmetic operator. So, this arithmetic operator is mainly used to perform mathematical calculations. Okay. So, why we are using arithmetic calculators? Name itself having arithmetic. That means mathematical calculations. So, what's the use of arithmetic operator? This operator is used to perform mathematical operations. Okay. So, this arithmetic operator will take 2 operands. Okay. So, how many operands it will take? 2 operands as a input and performs the calculation. For example, a plus b. So, how many operands are there? A and b. Understand? A minus b. How many operands? 2. What are they? A and b. A divided by b. How many operands? 2. What are they? A and b. Understand? So, this arithmetic operator is mainly used to perform mathematical calculations. By using how many operands it will take? Always it will take 2 operands. Understand? So, this arithmetic operator is mainly used to perform simple arithmetic calculations. What do you mean by simple arithmetic calculations? Adding of 2 numbers, subtraction of 2 numbers, multiplication of 2 numbers, square of 2 numbers, division of 2 numbers. These are the simple arithmetic calculations. Okay. So, most of the computer languages, so these operators are mainly used to compute equations. Okay. So, using this equation, you can perform very different calculations. Okay. What do you mean by equations? 2x plus 5 equal to 0. That is called as an equation. So, there how many operands are there? 5x plus 2y equal to 0. How many operands? 2. What are they? X and y. Okay. So, like that equations also you can able to compute by using arithmetic operators. Understand? So, see this example. Okay. So, I'll give in elaborated manner. First, just once you see this example. Okay. So, first itself I said how many operators it will take as an input. 2 operands. Isn't it how many operators will take as an input? 2 operands. What are they? A and B. So, listen. What are the operators? Have you all studied this same questions in 11th standard? Are you remembering? So what are the operators are there? Plus for addition, this already you know. Minus for subtraction. Into star for multiplication. Slash for division. Modulus, then exponent. This 2 symbol is for, this 2 slash symbol is used for what? Floor division. Okay. So listen. The same thing I have given in word file. Listen. I'll explain. So, in that tabular column, they have given how many operands it will take as input 2. What are they? A and B. They have given A as what's value of A? 100. What's value of B now? 10. Okay, listen. First operation is, what's the first operator? Addition. So, this already you know. What's the use of addition? Adding of two numbers. A plus B. What's the value? 100 plus 10? 110. Is it visible for you? Yes. What's the next value? A minus B. Is it visible for you? Yes. What's the value? A plus B equal to, what's the value of A? 100. 100 plus 10 equal to 110. What's the second operator? Subtraction. A minus B. What's the value of A? Already you have given 100. 100 minus 10 equal to 90. This and all already you know. Third one is A star B. What's the meaning of this one? A star B? Multiplication. Okay. So if you don't know means, please write near, take your books and write near to that examples. You write it. Okay. A star B means 100 that you need to multiply. What's the value of 100 into 10? 1000. Next operator is, what's the next operator? Division. What's the symbol used for division? A slash B. 100 divided by 10. So what's the value of 100 divided by 10? 10.0. Next thing is, what is this one? What's the meaning of a percentage? Modulus operator. Okay. Plus means addition. Minus means subtraction. Star symbol means multiplication. The slash symbol means division. Then percentage symbol means modulus. Okay. What's the usage of this percentage symbol? Modulus. Listen. A percentage 30. Okay. So what's the value of A? 100. So percentage divide. So cancel this one. 0, 0. What's the value you will get? 10 divided by 3. So if you are seeing this modulus operator means, how you need to write the answer means, you need to divide that number. Okay, divide. First you need to divide. So what remainder you are getting, that remainder is you need to write as an answer. So why I am telling means, in one word questions they will ask, they will give some numbers and this percentage of something. They ask you to find out the answer. So how you need to write? You need to divide and write the remainder as an answer. That's the use of modulus operator. Understand? Never forget. So if you will get forward means, so take your book near to that example, please write it. So modulus operator means you should write the divide the term and the remainder only you should write as an answer. Understand? Yes. Next one is exponent. Okay. What's the use of this symbol? 2 star symbol means what? Exponent. That means square. Understand what's the use of this symbol? Exponent or square. What's the value? That means A square 2. That means what's the value of A? 100. 2 times you need to multiply. That's a square. 100 into 100. What's answer you will get? 10,000. Okay. So next thing is floor division. This is very, very important question. So last year also they have asked, like this floor division, they have given some numbers and asked you to find out floor division of this one. And also 2 more questions also they asked like this, floor division. Okay. So listen, in floor division what you need to write means, same thing only. You need to divide. Same like a modulus operator, divide. So divide and you should write the quotient as an answer. Okay. So what's the difference between modulus operator and floor division? Floor division you should write quotient as an answer. So what's the quotient you will get here? 10 by 3 means what's the answer you will get? 3. 3 as a quotient. Okay. That means if you are dividing, what's the quotient? This is 10 as a remainder, 3 as a quotient. So answer you will get quotient. Quotient, what's the answer? 3. Understand the difference between floor division and modulus operator? So these things explanation is not there in your book. So please note it. Okay? Yes. So see this example in your book. So see, in simple one step, within one step they have given us an answer. Understand? So just one time go through it. The same answer only they have given. So see the floor division is double slash means floor. So that means integer division. Quotient you should write as an answer. Understand? Yes. So the same thing you are going to test that what are the arithmetic operators you have studied? Plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulus, exponent and floor division. The same thing you are going to write in a program. Okay. So same arithmetic operators you are going to write inside a program. Okay. What programming language you are studying? Python. So you are going to write a Python program. Okay. Listen. So what's the step? Here no need to give int or anything. Okay. So listen. What's the value of A now? Simply I am giving the value of A as 100. B as 10. Same thing only. So what's the use of print statement? So what are the things you have typed inside the print statement? It will display in the output screen. So print the sum equal to. Sum means what I need to find out? A plus B. Then print the difference. Difference means subtraction. Equal to what's the A minus B. Likewise, product means A star B. So print that means division. Division means for division they have given the quotient. Okay, quotient A slash B. So you need to type as a division means you type division. Then remainder that means modulus operator. Okay, modulus operator means A percentage 30. So based on your wish you can give exponent A star. Likewise they have given. So what output you will get? So first line it will print the sum equal to A plus B. What's value? 100 plus 10? 110. Difference. Next line it will print the difference. What's the value? A minus B. 100 minus 10. The answer is 90. Understood? Next, the product. A star B. What's the value? 100 into A star B. A into B. 100 into 10. 1000. Answer is 1000. Okay. Next, the quotient. A divided by B. 100 divided by 10. Answer is 10.0. Okay. Then remainder A modulus. So modulus operator. What's the remainder you will get? 10. The answer is 10. Exponent. A into that means square. 100 into 100. 10,000 answer. Then the floor division next line. So what's the floor division? What you should write? Quotient. So quotient value is 3. Understand now? So thus far sometimes separately they will ask. Explain the arithmetic operators with example. Likewise they ask means you should put the heading as an arithmetic operator, then definition, example, everything. Understand? Understand about arithmetic operators? Yes. Next operator is relational or comparative operator. Okay. So name itself having relative or relational. So here also this operator is going to check the relation between two operands. What's the meaning of that relation? So whether it is true or false. That means the same thing was studied in C also. So if condition is true means true block will execute. If the condition is false means it will come out of the loop and will execute the else section. Isn't it? Yes. Same only. This compare relational operator is other important one more question. So what's other name of relational operator is also called as which operator? Comparative operator. Okay. So what's the use of this? So it will check the relation between two operands. Okay. So what are the relations? In next slide I'll explain. Okay. So if the relation is true means, that means condition is true means what's the result it will return or what's the output you will get? True. If the condition is false means what's the output you will get? False. Understand? 2 points you study. So what are the relational operators is there in Python. So listen, what are the relational? This is the operator used to check relations, or this is the relational operators. Okay. So what are the relational operators? Double equal to. Double equal, what's the name? Is equal. So I am reading means this and all they will ask for one word questions. Okay. So don't skip any tabular column. Each and every tabular column is very, very important for this question. Okay. So what's the name of this double equal to? Is equal. Next one, this already you know. Mathematical you have studied. Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. So listen. First they have given with example. What's the value of A? 100. What's the value of B? 35. So by using this value, already you have studied, relational operator used to check the relation between two operands. That means the condition becomes true or false. Yes, check. So what's the first condition? Is equal. Is equal means the both the values need to equal. That's the meaning. Okay, what's the meaning of is equal? Both the values needs to equal. So listen, A double equal to B. Whether this value will equal 100, A double equal to B. Whether two values remains the same? No. Value of A is 100, B is 35. Not same. So the condition false. Answer is false. Understand? Next one. Greater than. A greater than B. So 100 greater than 35. Condition is true? Yes, 100 greater than 35. Understood? So the answer is true. Then less than. 100 less than 35. Whether 100 less than 35, the condition is true? No. So answer is false. Okay. Next. Greater than or equal to. So 100 is greater than or equal to 35. Correct only, no? 100 greater than or equal to. So answer is true. Next. Less than or equal to. Whether 100 is less than or equal to 35? No. So answer is false. Then not equal to. What's the meaning of not equal to? What's the difference between equal to and not equal to? Equal to means both the values needs to same. Not equal to means both the values need not become same. Okay. So whether these two values become same? No. Value of A is 100, B equal to 35. So not equal to, the condition becomes true. Understand this one? Yes. So same thing. So each and every operators, they are given one program. Okay? Yes, listen. Same program. Same thing like a arithmetic pro. So what is this one? Already you have studied. So the line starts with the hash symbol is called which line? Comments. Isn't it? If the comments, so if in program you are given this kind of line, command line means whether the interrupter will take this line to run? No. Interrupter won't consider this line as a programming line. This is for your understanding purpose. They are given in the hash symbol. Understand? Yes. Listen. So in this program, I am giving two variables. How many variables I have given? Two. To compare, how many variables you need? Two. What are they? A and B. So in A, I am giving int. Why I have given int? I have given some numbers, integers. So I am giving int, input of, which function I have given? Input of. So inside the input of function, I am giving input, enter the value of A. Then B equal to, next, enter the value of B. Okay. Then inside the printf function, I am assigning the capital letter A equal to, what's the value I am assigning? The value A is assigned to another one variable called capital letter A. Okay. And another one, capital letter B is assigned to the variable called small letter b. Understand? Yes. So listen. What's the first relational operator? Equal. The condition, what are the things you are given? What's the use of print? So what are the things you are given inside print? It will print in the output screen. So inside the printf function, I am giving the A double equal to is. This is nothing but statements you are giving inside printf function. Here only calculations is going on after this quotes. Okay. Giving the A double equal to B. So A double equal to B. Then A greater than B means this is the calculation. A greater than B. A less than B means this is for your identification only. Okay. Like a sentence you are typing. A less than B means the calculation is A less than B. A greater than or equal to B means A. That formula. Okay. So if you run the program, which line will come at the first line? Enter the value of A. So what's this one? What's the use of input a function? Last class I taught. Input a function is used to get the input values from the output screen. Are you remembering? Input a function always used to get the value from the output screen. So enter the value of A, where you are entering in the output screen. Isn't it? Next, what's the next line? The value of B. You are entering the value of B in output screen. Then first two lines over. Then the control will flows to next line. So print A equal to small a. So what's the value of now A? A equal, I am assigning the value, capital letter value to the small letter A. Why? Because I am going to compare with the small variables, small a and small b. So I need to assign the small letter A to the variable capital letter A. Now, so what's the value of A now? What's the value of small letter A? 35. And also, what's the value of small letter B now? 56. Understand? Yes. Then what's the next line? The A double equal to B. So you check the condition whether A is equal to. Whether A is equal to B? No. Condition false. Next, A greater than B. Whether A greater than B? Yes. Wait. So A, what's the value of A? What's the value of A? 35. What's the value of B? 56. Whether A greater than B? No. So the condition false. Likewise, A less than B? Yes, 35 less than 56. Condition true. Then greater than or equal to B. Whether 35 greater than or equal to B? No. Condition false. Likewise, whether this A not equal, this is a symbol used for not equal to. Okay. Whether this both the values are same? True. So the condition true. The answer is true. Understand? So like this, each and every heading, they will give one example program. Okay. So next operator is logical operator. Okay. What's the next operator? Logical operator. So I think so up to this enough. Today up to this enough. Okay. Two kinds of operators. So today what are the things you have studied? In tokens you have studied. 2 mark question tokens and types of token you have studied. Then inside the tokens what are the things you have studied? Identifiers, keywords, identifiers you have studied. Then keywords, then operators. So inside the operators, how many types of operators you have studied? Arithmetic operators and relational operators. Okay. This is very, very important 5 mark question, this tokens question. So up to this, you should study thorough. Okay. So immediately after the completion of this today's class, you should study this tokens question. Up to this relational operator, today you study. So remaining, I'll continue from the tomorrow's class. So if you are studying, first you study the heading, definitions, example, then program you should write and see. Okay. So today's homework is this token question up to relational operator you should study and write. Understand? So thank you students. Revise all the portions. Thank you one and all. Okay.